Hey guys, Andrew E. Guy here. I'm so pumped. Listen, if you're joining me for the first time, welcome to today's live. I don't do much of these lives, man, but it's about time I get out there and start doing a lot more of these. This is fun. Hey man, listen, I just wanted to say, hey, listen, happy rising, grand rising. Glad that you're getting up and you're breathing and everything is doing fine. All the organs inside your body are working well. Your mind is right. Your body is right. Your finance is right. Your work is right. And your life is right. I'm excited about this live right here. And the goal of this basically is to help you to understand, don't stop doing the right stuff that makes you feel good. And the purpose of this is to help you to understand, how can I live a more radically resilient work life? And that's my goal in life, really. By the way, if you are just tuning in for the first time, if you don't know about me, my name is Andrew E. Guy. I'm a work-life enrichment coach and consultant, and my goal in life really is to help those high-performance professionals to get clarity on what they do, so they can see clearly of the things that they're doing, so they can have a better vision for what they are doing and find meaning in why they do what they do, so they can continuously build a radically resilient work life. That's my goal in life. That's my function in life. That's what I do. Whether I am being an author, whether I'm writing books, whether I am speaking around the world, whether I'm on a stage, whether I am working with individual clients, coaching and consultancy, it doesn't matter. That's my goal, to help you build a radically resilient work life. So one of clarity and meaning. All right. So today's live, we're talking about, we want to answer this question, is that why do people get anxious or feel anxious or get anxious about tomorrow? Ask yourself that. Well, you probably already did. Why do people get anxious about tomorrow? You know, the tomorrow that they can't see. And they miss the present that they can see, that they can be in. So I want to encourage you today, whatever you're doing, I want you to understand that tomorrow may or it may not come. Say with me, tomorrow may or may not come. So you might as well enjoy today that's already given. All right. There's a scripture that says, it's my mom is very spiritual. She's a spiritual individual. She is a believer. I'm also a believer. When I was young, I literally kind of just ride on her coattail of faith, because she had amazing faith. And some of the things that my mother was able to do, it just blows my mind. And so when I see she's able to do these things, I say, you know what, I'm going to have to lock on to this right here. It's like seeing a locomotive moving. And sometimes you don't have to create your own thing. You just got to get on the train, and the train will take you. As long as it's going your direction, that train will take you there. So I want to encourage you today that lock on to someone who has the faith or is going at the speed that you wish to go. All right. So I want to give a big shout out to Mom for all that she has done for me and all the great things that she's done, and continually living her faith out to make it a reality. So it's not just theoretical spirituality. It's real faith that is practical. All right. So if you got a mom, send a shout out to your mama, and send a shout out to your pops or your people that have influenced your life. So today's session, we want to really talk about, don't stop doing the right stuff that make you feel good about yourself. And why are we doing that? Because a lot of people don't feel good about themselves. A lot of people struggle to feel good about themselves. A lot of people struggle about how they think about themselves in light of other people's interpretation of who they think they may be. Let me say that again. A lot of people struggle about themselves based on what other people have said about them, who really don't even know who they are in the first place. And for years, I've been working with individuals. I've seen it, whether I'm speaking in public, I've seen it, whether I'm working with individuals one-on-one. People just don't have a good sense of self. How and why? It could be for a number of reasons. Number one, it could be childhood stuff. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of trauma that have happened to children. You know, as most people know, I grew up in foster homes. I couldn't read. I didn't get to go to school that much. Didn't have much of a formal education anyway. Couldn't read, couldn't write, and I was dumb as a bat. So they say. Many of them didn't think I was going to even live to see age 11, right? But the good God, when I say the good God, the good creator, man, he had a sense of humor. And I am one of his sense of humor. So he has used his sense of humor to not prove people wrong, but to prove that he was right all along. You know, the right stuff that he meant is when he said, I have begun a good work and I will finish it. He said, he who had begun, the word said that, he who had begun a good work will finish it until he comes back. So it ain't finished. It doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter what you're going through. It's not finished until the Creator says it's done. When he said it's done, it's done. Okay? A great example is the story of the crucifixion. When he said it was done, he bowed his head and boom, lights out. It's done. Believe me, when he said it's done, it's over. So why are we really talking about this, Andrew? Because a lot of people have lived a remote life. What's a remote life? A remote life, by the way, is where you believe that somebody else has a remote and they're controlling you. And whatever they say, you believe. And whatever they announce, you live. You take it as a reality. I want to help you to understand, as I've worked with people in the professional sector, many of them are responsible for other staff. And that's where I come in. A lot of them are working with staff that's underneath them. They're working with individuals that they got to answer to above them. And so they lose a sense of self of really, who am I? Not who I am. Who am I? It becomes a question. You don't need to question who you are if you have been placed in a position, because guess what? The promotion didn't come from left or right. A lot of people miss that. That's number one. They miss that. They believe that it is the person who they're looking at hired them. But I heard a great speaker, as a matter of fact, Chief of Staff Kendra Pruitt once said, he said, God called those people who are unqualified and then qualify them through the mission. Big shout out to the Chief of Staff of Little Rock, Arkansas, Miss Kendra Pruitt. Great job that she's doing down there. She was recently on the Isla podcast show and we had a great conversation. So if you haven't watched that interview, I want you to go over there to youtube.com/Isla podcast. That is ILIRPODCAST, and check out that interview. It is absolutely lit. Okay, there's so many nuggets. There's so many mic drops. Man, boom, drop a mic so many times the mic don't even work anymore. All right, so it was a great interview, great insight, great individual, great energy. Love the interview. You're gonna love it. Share it with as many people as possible. All right, talked about equity, we talk about leadership, we talk about family, we talk about community. Man, it was just lit up. Go check it out. All right, so let's get back to this stuff here. So most people ask me, so Andrew, what do you do? So when I work with clients, and for them, some of you guys that are watching right now, you may want to work with me. So let me talk to you about, to make it easier, how you can work with me. You go to andrewguyspeaks.com. You can go and click on those links up there. You'll see it, and then one of them is going to say coaching. You click on that, and then you fill out the little form. You send that form back to me, and then or one of my staff or my assistant will get it, and then we'll review that. And then we will reach out to you. We'll set up a call. We get on a call, and then we find out if not that you are a good fit, but if you are a right fit. I don't work with everyone because I can't serve everyone, and I don't want to work with everyone, but I want to work with those individuals who want to create their greatest impact where they live, work, and play. Those are the individuals that I'm drawn to. Those are the individuals that my assignment is for. The people who are leading other people that needs to make sure, and if we look at it from an anatomy and physiology perspective, if the head is right, chances are the bottom is going to be right. If the head is thinking right, then the rest of it's going to be okay. Because the foot doesn't have an eye. The foot is only stepping to the beat of the thought and what the eye sees. Does that make sense? So I work with those individuals who are over other people, who are responsible for the well-being of those other people. And if I help them make upstairs right, then chances are you don't have to suffer at the hand of an ignorant boss. You don't have to suffer from a disgruntled supervisor. You don't, because guess what's happening? If the oil falls from Aaron's beard, that means it's coming. That's biblical reference, by the way. If the water is falling down, if the oil is falling down, it's going to fall down here too. So whatever the head has, that means it's going to trickle all the way down. There's a saying that says crap rolls downhill. But I like to let you know that it's not the crap I'm into. I'm talking about good things roll downhill also. Does that make sense? Because as a man thinketh in his heart, whoa, I said heart, didn't I? Well, when I say heart, most people look for their chest. This is not a heart. This is the pump. It's called a pump. It literally pumps blood throughout the working tissues within your body and sustain you, right? The real heart is up here. Real heart is up here. So when we talk about a heart, as a man thinketh, so is he. A great book by James Allen. Go check it out. Great books on my shelf. Love it. You're going to love it too. Recommended by yours truly. Okay. There's Think and Grow Rich. But this book, particular book right here, man, it could transform your life. It's called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Go check it out. All right. Let's get back to the business. So when we talk about working with clients may come to me and they said, Andrew, I'm struggling with this part right here of my work because I don't feel that I'm good enough, because somebody says that I'm not good enough, or because the boss is looking down on me, or the boss thinks that he has more credibility and more letters after his name, so I don't feel like I'm good enough to fit in. Well, I say, hey man, wait a minute. Then we'll stop and we do an assessment, a self-assessment, because that's the first place to start. If you're not assessing yourself, then you don't know what you got. It's like opening up your tool can, your tool bag, or your tool box, or your tool bag, and looking inside there and saying, my gosh, wow. So there is more underneath the hood that's good than you think based on what people say that's bad. I'll say it again. There is more good underneath your hood than society say that's bad. You need to pop the hood and look underneath there. Check out that alternator. You need to check out all the things that are underneath the hood that are working for you. You need to understand, when I talk about hood, I'm talking about understanding your qualities, your uniqueness, your gifts, your skills, your expertise, the things that make you tick. The things that make you tick, the things that bothers you, the things that you just can't stand. The things that you were created to change. This is what's unique about you. You could be in a workplace right now and they do things a certain way that doesn't jive with you. You could be in a workplace right now and many people may have been working there for gazillions of years and they don't want to change anything. And you come in with a fresh mindset, fresh thought, fresh information, fresh manner bringing to the table. They don't want to listen to you. What do you do then? As a leader, you need to understand you have your uniqueness. And this is the number one thing that I want you to take away from this live right here is simply this, that not all ships come to the harbor at the same time. Let me say it again. Not all ships come to the harbor at the same time. Here is why. There is not enough room for them. There's not enough room for them. So what am I trying to get you to understand? Your time is not yet. If what you're expecting is not happening, it's because it might not be your time. And when we talk about helping professional clients with their work-life enrichment, I'm really talking about integration. When an exchange word for enrichment is integrate. And I'm going to go off on a limb and I'm just going to ask you something. Have you ever been to Subway or eat a sub before? Well, when the sub in between the bun is the things that makes the bun or the bun taste good. The bun doesn't taste good at all. The bun tastes like bun, just dry bread. It's the stuff that's in between the bread that makes it taste so good, that makes it taste so rich. That's the stuff that I'm trying to get you to understand. So integration is enrichment. And my question to you, are you enriching your work life so you can have the clarity and have the meaning so when you show up, you're showing up with purpose? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. Do I have a purpose at this job? Do I find meaning in what I do? And am I clear about where I'm going? If you're not asking yourself those three questions, then that's why you're having problems with your work life. And so you fall into the societal trap of work-life balance. I'm going to go off on the limb right now. I'm about to go off up in here. There is no such thing as work-life balance. Work-life balance brings instability. Many of the underlying factors that are facing our individuals, these professionals, is that work-life balance. They're trying to balance it. It causes instability. Look at me for a second. Look at my hand. When I try to balance something, I got to make sure if I don't have all the weights. Imagine, you know, back in the day, you used to have that little scale. When they talk about legal stuff, you see that little scale and it's balancing up like that, right? There's two things on either side. And that's exactly what work life is like. That's what work-life balance is about. You're trying to put a little bit. If you got 10 ounces over here, you got to put 10 ounces over here. You got to put 10 hours over here. You put 10 hours over here. It's never balanced. Because each of them mean different things. This is why you need to have that meaning from what you're doing, but you have to have clarity for where you're going. Hence, this is where Andrew E. Guy comes in. The work-life enrichment consultant, the work-life integrative consultant. I help you to make sure you're clear about where you're going. You are the pilot taking off from the airport. If you don't know or have a flight plan, remember Dr. Miles Monroe once said, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. Andrew E. Guy said, if you don't know who you are, any identity will do. As a matter of fact, if you're interested in getting one of my books, hey, AndrewGuySpeaks.com to get your work, your words. It's the book that talks about how you communicate with yourself. Work your words. Finding your pathway to personal success. Powerful book. There's also a course that's coming. It's going to be dropping in the next couple of weeks. DM me if you want to get in on the wait list. Okay? We haven't even launched the landing page yet. It's coming. It's coming. And so I'm showing up here like my good friend Audrey Richmond said, hey, big up Audrey. I was on your live last night. Thank you for the good nuggets that you dropped. He said, got to show up. And so I'm showing up here today. I don't care if it's one of you, two of you that are on this live. I'm showing up here to help you to understand you can live a radically resilient work life. Radical mean it's not conventional. It means it's not popular. It's not what everyone is doing. That's what radical means. You don't have to try to stand out. You just stand. Just stand. Resilience means consistency. Means I'm not going to quit. It means that even when things get tough, I'm going to be there. It's like a good father. It doesn't matter what's happening. It's going to hang in there. It's not going to run away from the family and the children and abandon ship. It's going to be there. That's resilience. It's like being a good employer. He's not just going to close down the business because he has a tantrum and feel like he's just having a bad day. Going to hang in there because he's providing jobs for those people that are employed by him. Here, this is why we're talking about being a radically resilient work life. Why do we talk about work and life? Because work, if you're working, my friend, then you're alive. And if you're alive, you're working. And as long as you're alive, you will be working for the rest of your living. I want you to think about that for a minute. You know, think about that. You're either going to be working for yourself or working for somebody else. Either working for yourself as self-employed or you're entrepreneur. Or you're working on a team, you're working in a company. You're going to be working. As long as you're alive and you're able and have the capability to do. But the working process is not a life thing. Because life is a gift. It's a living thing. That's why people work for a living. So work living, this is what I talk about. And I get you ready. I get you clarity. so you can have meaning. So when you show up at work, it doesn't matter what the boss says about you behind your back. You know that you're contributing, and what you are doing is making a difference. You're making a difference. Do you know if you're making a difference on your job? Many people don't know. So let me talk to you about something now that most people struggle with. Remember, we talk about people don't really know if they belong there. People say that, well, I'm not good enough. People say that, well, I don't know if I'm smart enough. And so they don't even go for promotions. They don't even put in for an advancement. They don't even put in, they didn't even go and ask for a raise. Here is when you need to ask for a raise. You need to ask for a raise if your responsibility changes for the duration that you're at your job. Let's say you're in the job for 3 years. If your responsibilities change, if there's more responsibility, you need to ask for a raise. Just like how your responsibility change, there should be adequate compensation to match what you do. And not so much match what you do, because sometimes you'll never get the right amount of pay for what you do. Sometimes you will do more than you get paid for, until one day they'll pay you more for what you do. And that's a Zig Ziglar quote that I live by. You sometimes never get paid for what you do. And you think you should get paid for getting more for what you do. But sometimes you have to work more for what you get paid for. And one day you'll get paid more for what you do. Does that make sense? All right. All right. I feel like I'm coming down to a chill right now. I'm calm now. I feel like I got the out. I've gotten the bugs out right now. I've told what I needed to say. The rant is over. So let's jump into the next session. So when we talk about don't stop doing the right things that makes you feel good about you, most people who show up on the job don't really feel good about themselves. They don't feel good about themselves because they haven't taken time to think about themselves. They haven't assessed who they are. And the goal of this live really is to help you to live a more radical and resilient work life. Okay? Radical mean it's not what the world is doing. It's not popular. It's unconventional. It's an individual. That's what makes it radical. But the individual motive that you have is beneficial to other people. That's what radical means. Because most people do what's good for them only. But radical mean I'm going to do what's good for me. It's like I'm going to put my mask on first, as if you were on the life airplane or the journey airplane or the airplane that's taking you on a journey. And if it's going down, you got to put your mask on first so you can help somebody else. Radical means I'm going to make sure I take care of myself so I can help somebody else. I'm not going to step on people, take advantage of them. Radical meaning that I'm going to take care of me. I'm going to learn as much as I can, study as much as I can, build up myself as much as I can, so I will be in place to help somebody else. That's radical. So if you're on a job and you don't feel that you are getting ahead or you're advancing, and you need to check to see, is your company helping you to develop? Are they vested in you? Are they invested in you? Are they sending you on professional development? Are they calling guys like myself, Andrew E. Guy, to come in and do a mental health or a resiliency workshop? Are they calling a guy like Andrew to come in? By the way, if you're interested in bringing me in to do a workshop on emotional intelligence, then that's one of my #1 requested program. You can go out there to andrewguyspeaks.com and you can send in your request, and we'll look at it. And if it's something that we can do, we'll be happy to work with you to come out there and do a workshop. We have a half-a-day workshop, we have a full-day workshop, and we have multiple days workshop. So if you're interested in that, get out there, andrewguyspeaks.com. If your company members are interested in getting books, please reach out and let me know if you want bulk orders of the Andrew Guy books. These are Work Your Words, Finding Your Pathway to Personal Success. The other one that's on the way out is Win Where You Are. Stop Waiting to Become. Powerful book. If you want to pre-order, get out there to andrewguyspeaks.com. There is tons of information coming. Our course is going to be launching very soon. Don't miss out. All right? Let's get back to the business. It's important that you have a good sense of self, because I want you to think of yourself like being in a drawer of expensive china. And you know, people don't use their china I'm not talking about the country. I'm talking about the utensils. They don't use their china every day. China comes out on special days. You hear me? So imagine if you have a nice drawer filled with all these chinas, all these nice utensils, forks and knife, and they're just glittering, they're shiny, they're just beautiful, mwah, they're just wonderful. But you only take them out at a certain time. And only some of them get used. What am I trying to get you to see? That sometimes this could be you. When you think highly about yourself, you prepare yourself to be used. Just like a knife that's probably been in that drawer for 10, 20, 30 years and have never been used before. And there is one of them, a fork, that every day it gets used. It's almost like whenever the drawer gets open, it's dark in the drawer. I want you to imagine, just imagine with me now, that when, you know, all of these utensils are in the drawer, just go with me, follow with me. You probably never thought about it this way before, but imagine that, you know, all of these utensils, they're in the drawer. Okay, I know you're listening right now. And you're ready. Get it? I'm listening, I'm ready. Remind me of the Allah podcast. Go check it out. All right? And so you're in the drawer and you're a utensil. All of us are utensils. Oh, by the way, we are. We're all utensils. We're all instruments being used by the Creator. If you didn't know that, I hope you get that. My good friend and speaker, trainer, corporate trainer, Myron Goldman's always say, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Well, I'm not putting it down. I'm giving it to you right now. I'm not putting it down. I'm giving it to you. Are you taking it? All right. Are you taking what I'm giving you? Are you getting what I'm sending? And so the deal is that we're all in this drawer. Imagine that we're all in this drawer. We're in the drawer, man. We're all utensils. There's knives, there's forks, there's spoons. We're all in there. We're precious. All of us are precious. And imagine every day the owner cracks the drawer and pulls out the drawer. And then it was dark in there. And now it's lit. The light slowly comes in. Slowly comes in. And then everybody are excited. You're both excited and nervous, by the way. You're excited and nervous because you're thinking, whoa, am I going to be used today? Wow, am I going to be called on today? Wow, who am I going to be feeding today? It's the same thing with us as individuals. We're all waiting for an opportunity to be used. So we can use our skills, so we can show the world, this is what I can do. This is what I've got. That's what it's about. Let me take a sip right here. Oh, that's good water right here. Listen, get your water bottle. This is an aluminum one, big old 32-ounce ones right here. Love it. Try to drink at least 4 of these a day. Hydrate yourself. As we talk about work-life enrichment, we want you to talk about your health, and we're going to talk about that in the next couple of minutes, all right? So I want to get through this thing first, this mindset stuff. But I want you to get your water in. And the next thing we're going to talk about is your wellness and why it is important for you to go walk it every day. And if you haven't, go over to TikTok and check out some of those videos. I have a video series out there that you can check out so you can find out all of these things, all right? Let's keep going right here. So imagine now you're in the drawer. Everybody's in the drawer, and we have this great expectation that, wow, somebody is going to open the drawer. The owner is going to open the drawer. I wonder who is going to be taken out or who is going to be selected today. Oh, I wonder who that is. You could be a knife waiting to cut somebody's steak. You could be a spoon waiting to scoop up somebody's soup or porridge. You could be a fork waiting to pick up that person's steak. Who are you? Why am I asking you that? That's part of your self-identity. Like if you don't know who you are, any other identity will do. I talk about this in another video series when I talk about if you are a Ford Explorer, 2024 Ford Explorer, white or black, whatever your favorite color is, and you're driving on the highway, stay with me, you're driving on the highway and there's a whole bunch of other cars. There's Hondas there, there's Toyotas there, there's some Bentleys there, there's some Porsche 911 there, there's a Bugatti there, and we all driving on the same highway. Why? Because we have that in common. Just like the utensils are in the drawer, we all have something in common as human beings. We have something in common. That means you have a skills, you have a gift, you have some expertise that can help humanity. And so the commonality is that we're on the highway and we're all driving on the highway. We're not driving in the air, y'all. This is not the Jetsons. We are all on the highway driving. That's the commonality. We have something in common. Just like we have 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 1 mouth, 2 ears. Commonality. That's what makes us human. We have something in common. Just like, oh, I have a gift. You have a gift. I work with professionals of work-life enrichment, coaching, and consulting. You may do something else. You may be a doctor. You may be a nurse. But your commonality, we all have a skill set that we bring, not to the table, that we bring to the world. And so what I'm trying to get you to understand, you're on this highway and somebody make an announcement. Hey, Honda Accord. Hey, Honda Civic. Hey, Bugatti. Hey, Porsche 911. What are you? What exactly are you? You remember I said you're a Ford Explorer. Even if you're a Ford Explorer 2024 Platinum, you still are differentiated by your color. You could be a Ford Explorer 2024 white. You could be a Ford Explorer 2024 black, beige, ashes, gray, orange, or red. So even though you may have the same year, same name, you're differentiated by what? What's unique about you? And so I want you to understand as we talk about this thing, how can I help you to live a more radical, resilient work life? Is to understand who you are as a person. Across school districts, there's students, young boys, young girls who don't have an idea of who they are. They find their identity in studying. They find their identity in the next grade. They find the identity, or some girl is finding their identity in some little boy who finds them attractive. They find their identity out there and not in here. Hey, if you're checking me out for the first time, my name is Andrew E. Guy, and listen, this is my sponsor, Excel to Wellness, and they have this amazing hoodies online, and they said I can only get better. If you love this hoodie, if you want to check out this hoodie, go to Excel to wellness.com. Beautiful hoodie, I love it. Nice, easy material, nice and light, beautiful. All right. So if you're interested in getting one of these hoodies, go check them out. They're my sponsors and they do some good stuff. I love what they're saying. I can only get better, and I completely believe that. That's my goal. I want you to get better. Okay, let's get back to this thing. Remember, I said you were on the highway. We're talking about commonality. What's common between you and me? We have a gift, we have a skill, we have an expertise that we bring.